welcome back to the next episode of the G&A Podcast. I am the Nuroi waifu that even you will fight the strike witches for. Dooby-doo.
And I am the co-host whose skin is always as smooth as an iPhone X, Sobroni.
And welcome back to the G&A Podcast. We talk about all things anime, the good, the bad, and the weeb. How are you doing tonight, Oni?
I'm actually dying. My stomach is imploding, but that's fine. Other than that, I'm doing good.
Jesus Christ! Right? Yes. Would you like to share with the audience what you had?
So after the stream yesterday, where I was thoroughly drunk and we had argued for like an hour about fucking chicken.
No, who was this? We
argued for an hour about chicken nuggets.
Yelled at me over nuggets,
and
for like a good 10 minutes, and then you just yelled at me for 40 more.
And then I had some chicken nuggets, spicy chicken nuggets from McDonald's that were in my freezer or my refrigerator. So I had that, but there was no sauce. So I had to I'm not a psychopath that's gonna eat nuggets without sauce.
Especially not McDonald's that you actually just choke on them.
Yes. So I had to get some guacamole that we had. So I had them with guac, which is it tasted good and actually killed a lot of the spice. But go figure, it at 2:00 in the morning while you're drunk. This is not the best combination of things for your stomach. So yeah,
it's interesting. I just find it really ironic that you are, defending them nuggets to the core, and they actually just turned around and.
That's not the nuggets' fault. That was my fault.
Something like a true.
The nuggets. It's not the nuggets' fault. I'll do better next time.
Like a true victim.
Oh man.
Well, as Oni is pondering his false ways, let us get into our news segment, This Week in Anime. So we have a few things to talk about. Ironically enough, just like I was looking at Oni weird because Oni picked news that had nothing to do with nothing to do with anime, but so do I, kind of. Okay, so basically, and I feel like someone talked to me about it, maybe. According to Kotaku.com, Nintendo went after an adult TikTok influencer over Pokemon branding. So, this woman, Poke Prince XSS, she's a TikTok user with 1.9 million followers. She's been forced to change her name and pay back some of her earnings after Nintendo issued a cease and desist. She's now changed her name to Digital Princess. It's like Princess, but replace the E with the X. But yeah, she was contacted by Nintendo when she tried attempting to trademark her own name. And yeah,
I was on her side until that part. Got it.
Yeah. And to make it worse, like all of her designs, they're all like it's Pokemon. It's it's Pokemon. It's a picture of a Mew with like this pretty flower and Poke Princess on it. There's like a shirt with a Pokeball. Straight up a Pokeball. It's the word Poke Princess on it.
Yeah, so it's interesting the legal gray area of copyrights. Like for example, you have a Starmie in your logo, but it's as long as it's not trademarked or like legal, like actually owned by you, I guess to sort of say. I don't think Nintendo can actually do anything about that. But once you try to make a move to like legally register your name or your logo that has other registered properties in it, like a Pokeball or something, then yeah.
So you're saying if I try to register my name as like, oh, I am Dooby-Doo, or they can come out?
Well, if you registered your if you trademarked your that logo that we have, the avatar.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Because it's a Starmie. They'll be like, oh wait, did we own that rights to that? So
yeah,
maybe I don't know. Maybe yours is distinct enough to not be, because it's not like it's just straight up a Starmie, you know?
Yeah, it's like it's like the Starmie design. Like it's there. It's not that you can know.
Yeah.
is.
It's more ambiguous.
Yeah. So there's apparently also another twist as to why this has happened.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to having a successful YouTube channel, she also runs a successful OnlyFans page where she posts adult content. So I think that's even more. I think that's like the biggest.
Yeah, that probably is the bigger reason. Nintendo's like, nope.
Yikes! Like this girl has a tattoo of a Meowth on her, arm, and she's doing whatever she's doing with her body.
We're the only one who can loot our own characters, not her.
Exactly. And, they have that right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she's not, she's not salty about it. She's not mad about it. I guess because she's already like, she's like, bitch,
she's rich. She's fine. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm super rich. It's fine.
Rich, but like she's well off enough that
yeah.
I feel like they didn't like take everything from her.
Listen, if she got an OnlyFans and 1.9 million followers and all that, she's rich. She got she got money.
She got some guap. Got the guap. Yeah. So, and in case any of you guys are into that, her name is it's now Digital Princess with a X instead of the E. So I guess if you want to check her out, you can.
I am typing this down as we speak.
I really hate that you typed that down. I hate it so much. What is your news, you filthy man?
I got two small pieces of news, both related to movies. Firstly, Evangelion's new film is opening up on January 23rd, which is going to be Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0. I hate that. That name is so fucking pretentious. Anyway,
it's Evangelion. Sorry, about Higurashi earlier today. It's Evangelion. So what do you expect?
Yeah, I just I'll talk about it after I give the news. But basically, the series or the movie is going to be the fourth in the line of new reboot movies. So you had Evangelion 1, then Evangelion 2.0, then Evangelion 3.0, which actually debuted in 2007, 2009, and 2012. So it's going to be 9 years in the making for this movie, which is pretty crazy.
They've been making this movie for 9 years.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, and my opinion on these Evangelion movies is, I don't know, it's not. It's a cash. I feel like it's a cash grab, and it's not. I don't want to say cash grab in the sense like he's after more money. It's like, I think that it's more of a ego thing where it's like, yes, I must.
He just won't let it die.
Yeah, like the first one was something. It was beautiful. It was a masterpiece. It was very intricately written. It had a lot of great metaphors and imagery, but now you're just like too far up your own ass, and it's like, yes, now I will go even deeper into the land of metaphor and psychoanalysis, and now it feels like it's trying too hard, It's like M. Night Shyamalan when he did the Sixth Sense. That was a genuinely well written, well scripted, super great twist. Now M. Night Shyamalan is like, oh, I'm all about the master of the twist. So now his movies aren't as genuine feeling. I feel like that's the case with this. It doesn't feel as genuine.
Right.
Other news, we also have the Monster Hunter film coming out in theaters on December 30th, which I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan, but my condolences to all the Monster Hunter fandom, because I saw the trailer and it was, I literally thought it was a Uwe Ball movie. The guy who makes a really bad live action adaptation movies. It looks like worse than Resident Evil somehow. Wow. So Drew, when you think Monster Hunter, do you think American military gets isekai'd into a monster world and they have to shoot up a bunch of monsters with fucking rocket launchers and shit?
Wait, is this a Japanese film?
No, it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. It's a live action adaptation of Monster Hunt.
Oh my god!
By Mila Djokovic, starring Mila.
Is she really in that? Is she really?
Mm-hmm.
And this is my.
She is a soldier from the U.S. Army.
Is her husband directing this shit?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Because he loves putting his wife in fucking everything.
Yep.
Not that I even hate Mila Jovovich, but come the fuck on. I don't even hate her, but please.
People are calling it the Call of Duty X Monster Hunter crossover. We all need.
Wow. Well, yeah. So I'm basically going to pretend it doesn't exist till it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to all the memes
Me too.
and all the clips of just how bad the movie is.
Mm-hmm. I think it might be a movie that's so bad it's fun to watch. You know, like so bad it's good.
Yeah, I hope so. We should get something out of it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's crazy. All right. And my last one piece of news is it's actually a throwback to something I talked about earlier in the year. So the Kagawa, according to Anime News Network, Kagawa governor claims that the gaming ordinance is not unconstitutional. Do you remember that article that I brought up a few months back?
Yeah, was it the one where like they had to only 1 hour of gaming a day or something like that?
Yes, and it was kids under age of 18 to 6. Yeah, it's an hour of gameplay, and on weekdays, and an hour and a half on the weekends.
It's barely enough time to get my dailies done.
Yeah. Okay. So, and keep in mind there's a woman, her, like, she took them to court over this lawsuit. They, as of now, the lawsuit has gone along, and they are seeking 1.5 million yen approximately.
That's not that much.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's only, it's like 14,000. That's actually pretty
reasonable.
That's actually super reasonable compared to other lawsuits. And then apparently in July they successfully reached their crowdfunding goal of 5 million yen for the lawsuit. So I'm like, wait, did you just pay more?
Yeah, that's what.
So I mean, I don't understand the context of it. I hope it's not like they just paid more money just to get less money back, because that would kind of suck.
Economics 101.
Yeah, essentially. But yeah, so this is what Keizo Hamada said in response to the lawsuit filed by a mother and her 17-year-old son against the Kagawa prefecture. So yeah, so that's actually happening. Yeah, I wonder how it's going to go. I feel like it's important enough to keep your eyes on, because smaller court decisions like this can definitely dictate what happens, in other cases.
Yeah, and
they could potentially be taken to a higher court.
Yeah, always worth keeping your eye on before it gets to the Supreme Court of Japan.
Yeah, so this is very, very interesting, and I hope the court finds the mother and her son in favor.
Yep, same.
Yep, agreed. So that's basically my news for this week. And unless you have anything to say, Oni, let's dive into our weekly review.
Let's do it. Starting
with, I believe it is DanMachi Season 3, Episode 3. Why did I put 1?
You are all over the place.
No, numbering things, my greatest weakness.
This episode was actually pretty story heavy. Like I said, I like the pacing of this arc. It went a different way than I was thinking. I was really thinking that they were gonna play up this like sad angle where it's like Weenie's gonna die to appease the Belle or whatever, or get them out of trouble. But no, it looks like Belle and the Hestia Familia are going to be working with Uranos to protect the monsters, which is a good twist, I think.
Yeah, I think they're team up with the guild to protect the monsters, and the monsters are going to talk.
I didn't know that it's also interesting to know that the guild had like a bigger purpose in all of this. It's not just like we're the guild, but they were actually working behind the scenes and stuff.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I like the world building aspect of the show a lot. That's the one thing I
that
think
wasn't
separates it
bad.
from the other generic fantasy shows, is that the world is really well built.
Yeah, even though anime still has a lot of moments where it feels generic af, but
Hey, this episode was fine.
it don't make me.
What part was
Don't make,
generic,
I don't.
Drew? What part was generic? Did you not like the Lizard Man?
The little man. I would say Lizard Man was fine. That handshake scene that made me roll my eyes. Actually,
Yeah, I mean, it went on a bit too
that
long.
was that. Yeah, that went on way too long, and that's the generic thing. Guy's like, shake my hand. He's like,
That's
look behind him. Look behind him.
that's
And
a
shake your hand,
minor.
and shake the
thing.
hand. And was like, oh my god, we're all best friends. Ah! Yeah, I've seen that like 50 times.
That was a minor little thing. I like all the monster designs and stuff, though. It had a real maybe it's just because of the Lizard Man, but it had a real like Overlord / like Log Horizon kind of feel to it. The little fighting scene that they had was pretty well executed. I liked Bell's super Omega Punch.
Yeah, I was like, what? What is that?
I don't know, but it was cool.
Okay. Took like forever, and it didn't really do much ultimately, but all right.
Hater.
I'm just confused that he has like a new ability out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, you weren't confused about it when fucking God of High School did it, so I don't hear it.
Yeah, but they were more entertaining to watch.
God of High School coming out here, people are just suddenly summoning fucking Goku and Kamehamehas and shit, and you're like,
Okay,
alright,
it was
cool.
fun, but it was fun and good fighting.
Bell just has a strong punch, and you're like, Nani, the fuck is going on over here? I'm guessing that this is gonna lead to like some kind of arc or some kind of fight between the monsters and the townspeople or whatever, or the other families coming down there, and
Yeah.
Bell's gonna probably have to team up with the monsters,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. I think that's a pretty unique premise for an arc.
Yeah, I would say so. For DanMachi, it's very different. I'm enjoying it.
Same.
Yeah, like it. You know, I'll just say I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not going to be a hater.
Yes, please don't be a hater.
I'm enjoying it. I'm having a decent time so far. I still hate Lily, and
Lily didn't even do anything this episode.
yeah, no, I don't like her anymore. I always felt the way about her, but now I'm just like,
No, and you didn't even see season 1. You know, Lily in season 1 was actually unbearable. This is Lily post her redemption arc. You know that, right? This is Lily, so to speak.
Not Lily. Oh god,
You didn't even see Lily alter.
Not Lily Alter. Oh, I have no intention of seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's it for DanMachi. Next, let's move on to Tonikaku Kawaii, episode 3.
Yeah, now that you mentioned the whole she might be immortal thing, I'm kind of seeing that everywhere. Thanks, Drew.
It's pretty obvious. Like,
well, now it is. Now that you've planted that seed in my mind, I can't help but notice all the little clues.
You're not seeing the opening. It's like moon.
All right, but I was not watching this as if I'm watching Higurashi. I was watching this as if I was watching Strike Witches.
It's just this very.
I'm not looking for clues to any story. I'm not looking. I am not looking for clues beyond this is just a fun romance series.
Neither I'm just saying these clues has supernatural.
Well, yeah, when she started talking about the creams and stuff, and she's like, "Oh yes, these have been around since hundreds of years ago." I'm like, I bet you would know they've been around hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, probably. She's probably lived that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they talked. So this episode was like very like, it was alright. I feel like I don't know, like it was cute.
I like the new characters.
The new characters were fine.
I thought you would like the lewd.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, the Kohai.
Mm-hmm.
Kaname. She's actually funny. She made me laugh. I liked her.
She was great. Her sister was pretty fun too.
Yeah.
Did you catch the FGO jokes in there? FGO references?
I don't believe I did.
When Aya was like berating Hina. Her name is not Hina, is it? I forget her name all the time.
The main character?
Yeah.
That's Tsukasa.
When she was berating Tsukasa and she just throws Buster cards in her head. The only reason I caught it, yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, I thought that too. I forgot about that. They were like critical. I was just like, oh, you mean Buster card? Okay, and then like it has the same print too. They knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
I fucks with it.
I'm getting the serious Hayate vibes back again with all the little clever references.
Yeah, so at the ending. It was like some type of school rumble misunderstanding, and I'm like, I hope it doesn't go down school. Like,
it probably will.
I don't know, girl. I watched School Rumble once. I really don't ever want to see it.
I mean, it's not gonna be like crazy like that, but I'm pretty sure there's like a few misunderstandings here and there.
Yeah, I just hope it's not like episodic. I know. I feel like that show can run its course very quickly.
True. And it is kind of a stupid misunderstanding because it's like super out of context. Like, why would I'm gonna call her Hina forever. Why would Tsukasa know about the conversation you had with your kohai about the wedding ceremony and be upset about it? You know?
Exactly.
So I don't know, but it felt very convenient to the plot, if there is a plot.
Yeah. So it's just, it's feeling very slice of lifey, nothing too much, not stirring up my juices too much, but it's there. It's there.
It's a cute show. It's a cute, like, end of the... I watched this last because I'm like...
I was sober when I watched this.
You need a what?
I said I may have not been sober when I saw this.
That should have made you enjoy it more. That should have made you like it more.
But yeah, no, we hopefully just because I was tired or something, and then I don't know. Next week, I watched the episode, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is amazing! I love it.
I me's just cute. I don't think it's gonna. I'm not expecting it to do anything outside of just being a cute show with some.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's cute. Like it's doing what it needs to do for me. It just for me, slice of life things are hard for me to adjust to. But
maybe Nasa will cheat on Tsukasa with Aya or some shit happen. We'll go the Kuzuno Honkai route.
I'm like, whoa, bitch, I'm right awake.
And then I'll be like, dropped.
Yeah, dropped like certain things.
No, not like certain things.
We'll see about that. Up next, we have Golden Kamui Season 3, Episode 2. Episode a week.
Oh, great! It's gonna be another season.
I know, but this is so. Oh my god, this is so. It's not going to be. I won't make my episode a week, but I was tempted. It was just very much. It was humor plus bada. Like I'm like.
Yeah, that's every episode.
Exactly. It just keeps hitting my weak spots. Things that I really like.
Like I'm missing the cute Asleepa moments. It's hurting me. But although we do have the new other cute lowly girl over there, I'm actually really liking her relationship with the other boy too.
Yeah,
they're cute together.
They are cute together. Speaking of cute, the new tattooed prisoner we're introduced to. His name is Tonikaku. Once again, they made another very over the top eccentric character. That's just.
Yeah, again, another great villain. Like he's not even a villain; he's just kind of antagonistic a bit in this episode in the beginning. But yeah, another well-written, silly, over-the-top character.
Yeah, like the whole where he's like, "Yeah, pay attention to me, pay attention to me, pay attention to me." It's being the shit out of.
At the moment when they were starting the brawl, and they all thought that Sugimoto had like this master plan. And he's like, oh, he's creating a giant brawl for a distraction. And they were like, the guy was like, oh, this is the true Stenka. And then they all realize, oh, he's just fucking crazy. And
he just lost his mind. The mom really fucked him up.
Yeah.
And then you just see him grab a sickle and like something else, and then you're like, "Oh no, we out."
Yeah, we're out. We're done. The fighting scenes are actually pretty good. I like the actual impact. Like the punches had impact, and you got to see all the blood and hits. You know,
and like there was like funny scenes in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Like the sauna.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was. Okay, so there's another anime that did something like this, but it didn't do it as well. But yeah, but this really succeeds as in like mixing like the action fighting and like the comedy really well. Like it really seems seamless. So yeah, I really love that. I love, of course, when they're in the steam room, I'm like, yep, T-minus 3 until they're naked.
They were like naked for half this episode, and they were in the fucking mountains with snow everywhere. So I'm like, you should all be dead right now. Yeah, they should be dead. Like, and then they fell in the water. I'm like, oh, you definitely should be dead by now.
Naked, yeah, you guys should all be dead.
You all have hypothermia. Congrats.
The end. And then the scene where they're all hitting him with the leaf. And he's like, oh my god, why'd you guys all hit me at once? I'm like, ooh. Wow, you guys are they are laying the jokes on thick. So yeah, it was just very random Tarantino-esque. We're all fighting, we're all doing crazy stuff. That fucking Wolverine that attacked again.
the gunshot scene. Is this a boner?
Oh my god, that's a reference to the first season.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, the continuity is great.
And Tonikaku would say that. Oh my gosh.
Another example of how amazingly written the show is.
It was written so well. God, I fucking love this anime.
Yeah, it's really super good. Again, guys, if you have, for some reason you're watching this segment of the podcast and you haven't seen any of Golden Kamui, do yourself a favor and go watch all of it. Binge it all. It is one of the like most underappreciated gems of an anime I've ever seen.
Definitely 100% agree. So good. It's really good. But yes, as much as I wanted to keep talking about it forever, we cannot. We must continue on with Kami-sama ni Natta Hi, episode 3, which is my episode of the week, actually.
Ooh.
So some people are like, why is this your episode of the week? I don't wait. It's episode 2.
Episode 2.
Yep, you know me.
Stop time traveling, Drew. We're talking about episode 2 today.
Oh yeah, I'm on a roll, guys. Clearly. But yeah, so episode 2. I like this because I feel like it takes the funny parts of Higurashi, like the slice of life moments, and it's just like this is just the whole episode, kind of. And I don't know, it was just really funny. Like it was just really funny. I don't know what
it was actually pretty hilarious, and I loved meeting all the new cast members. And I wasn't a big fan of the main love interest in the beginning, but she was actually pretty fun this episode with her deadpan role, her humor in the movie skits.
Yeah, she's like, oh my god, can I leave now? The second one where he's doing like the Rocky. Can I go now? He's on me. So is that no?
He's on me.
Does that no? Does that mean I really can't leave? Oh my god, like she was so heartless. Oh my god, hysterical. And then, oh my god, when he dresses Everton.
That's the most the trophy for most obscure anime reference goes to. Or
and then her response was just I think that's how many episodes a week. She's like, "Oh, I'm really jealous of you. It must be nice that you don't have to spend time studying.
Must be nice not having to study." That's why I love her, because I can't tell if she's throwing shade or if she's actually just like clueless about these things.
I don't know. I don't know. And me not knowing is half the charm.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
I like that his sister was also just like obsessed with like ruining his, like, oh, I'm gonna clip all these videos and make a movie entitled "My Brother's Pathetic Attempts at Trying to Get His Girl."
Oh, oh my god.
Her like crazy eyes. And even the parents are fun.
Huh?
Even the parents are pretty fun too.
I was about to mention that. Yeah, like the father is like just randomly in both skits. And he like kind of gets also frustrated at the second one. He's like, no. He's like saying no to Odin. He's like, no, this is a terrible idea.
and again, Izanami's just like, don't you have work? Do you not work? Don't you go to work?
Have work today?
Oh yeah, no, this and then even to top it off, the ending scene was actually pretty genuinely sweet. I thought them playing the piano together, and it was like very obviously this is like a Clannad Angel Beats type of show, so of course the music is on point. It's so pretty to look at.
Yeah.
So that was that moment where I was like, oh yes, this is the same person who did Clannad, right? I forgot.
Yeah, and then Sora, at the end, Sora ends up hurt, so I feel like we're up against something a little bit more serious. Episode. So I like that they can flip back and forth in between, like, I don't know, certain moods.
Right. Yeah.
Also, they're implanting the seed of the mystery of who Odin is. And I'm like, that Clannad plot twist is gonna hit us like a
yeah. I got my tissues ready.
I'm ready for the depression.
It's a steady build up, but it's like, oh, when it comes, I'm gonna be
destroyed. Like, the parents. At first I thought it was like something supernatural, like in the fact that like, oh, she like did some magic to the parents, but no, it seems like they know where she came from. It's gonna be really sad. I feel like that's something to do. I think she may or may not have been homeless or lived a very like rough life,
traumatic life. Yeah, they're specifically like trying to dodge the topic whenever main character brings it up too. They're
they specifically just like mind your business. They literally say mind your business.
Don't ask. Don't ask. We're not saying anything. We're done. Just treat her like you love her and everything. Like, yeah, I'm thinking that she probably. I don't want to guess yet. I don't want to guess yet because I don't want to make this more tragic than it has to be.
Yeah, same. It's just, but it was just so like, I don't know. Despite all that potential sadness that's coming, it was so enjoyable. I really had a good time watching the episode. It really made me laugh from beginning to end. Exactly. Like, I regretted eating while watching this because I feel like the food was almost distracting me from watching it. I was like, no, I want to give it my full attention because it's so funny.
You could have just put the food aside and no.
Bitch, I was hungry. Hungry. Whew. Lay. All right.
I said, yep, great episode.
Yes, great episode indeed. Up next, we have Higurashi no Naku Koro ni Go.
I was tempted to make this episode 3. I was tempted to make
I'm looking at Golden Kamui, that's why.
I was tempted to make it my episode of the week, but I will not make it my episode as much as I want to, and I really want to.
The reason why I won't is because
the only reason
because like I watched it. Like this episode is very much like it was very much faithful to the original.
It was.
For the first time, I felt like I was watching the old one, which isn't a bad thing by any means. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying it is. Like, I've seen this.
I do actually think they executed it better. Maybe it's my bias of like watching the old scene, but I did watch the old scene, the old Usoda Reina crazy scene. And I felt like they did it better in this series because the music was a lot better. The way that the music just cuts when Reina goes crazy mode the camera angles, her crazy face was just all done a lot better.
Mm.
But I think overall this episode was better than the original because it had more. It had me more on edge, you know, like the ending scene especially where Reina. I don't remember that. Was that in the original?
I feel like it was not to that extent.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have to compare the two side by side, but I know that scene happened where Reina came in, you know, unannounced to Keiichi.
I think she was like standing outside his window or something, and she was like looking at him on the phone or something like that. It wasn't as creepy as this one was. But I like that, and I like that they actually took the time to explain a lot of the plot. You know, it wasn't as cryptic as the original was with it.
Yeah, the Oishi, which was something I always felt weird about the old one and this one. It still doesn't go in. I'm like, Oishi's like, you're telling a kid a lot about this stuff. Like this feels very random. I know this is exposition. Like it feels very exposition for exposition's sake.
Yeah, I will let that slide in this case because he specifically was like, I can't talk to any of the villagers because they're all crazy people who believe in curses. So I guess this is like his last ditch effort. Is like, I gotta talk to somebody who's not involved with the village politics.
How about Ichi's father, who's an adult?
Yeah, but they saw him with Tonikaku, so they're like, listen, you're our only lead. So I'll let it pass. I think there was like debates whether this is like good for newer audiences, like if you've never seen the original. I think with this episode, I would say yes. Like
yes, they literally lay down the foundation. Like they're setting the stage.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's different a little bit story wise. Like I think the end of this arc is going to shape up to be a lot different than the end of the original arc. But as far from a like storytelling perspective, you can be totally new to the series and just watch this, and you'll have a very good idea of what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Like the things, I feel like the little stuff that was added in, I think that's just for people who watched it before. They're like, here's a little this, here's a little to keep you guys a little bit wet.
There was a few moments like that in this episode where it's like, ooh, this is gonna come up later. Remember this. So,
indeed.
Great episode. I'm really looking forward to next week, specifically because I think that's the wrap up of this arc. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I saw this episode, I'm like, ooh, I know what's coming next.
Yup.
Yeah, I love. That's one thing I love about this anime. It's like triggering all the flashbacks. It's one of the reasons why I don't want to like watch the old one, or maybe I'll watch it like after I watch the new one, and then I watch the old one.
Yeah, I want to experience the nostalgia for now.
Exactly. So can't wait till the next episode. But until then, we have Strike, which is The Road to Berlin, episode 2.
So maybe it's my low expectations of the series or whatever, but this was my episode of the week. I'm waiting for.
That was a silence of me judging it.
I'm waiting for a judgmental response.
No, I'm not even gonna say it. That silence was enough.
Listen, hear me out. So, can you at least admit the fighting was actually pretty decent in this episode? Like they actually used tactics and like strategy, and they had their own little moments to shine and stuff. They had a formation.
Yeah, okay, that was like the last 2 minutes of the episode. Like, let's not get carried away. But for the most part, they swirled around the giant tentacle, shooting it up till it exploded.
They had more choreography in this one fight than they had. They had more choreography in this one fight than they had in the last 10 episodes of God of High School.
I believe it, bitch. I believe it. So it's like my only problem with you giving me episode of the week is just like it's like praising a really shitty boyfriend for being good for once.
Wow. Listen, mister, I'm only going to give Golden Kamui, Higurashi, and Kami-sama episode of the week from now until the end of the season.
Okay, well, they're excellent. So
that, for me, episode of the week means you're exceeding expectations. So, as good as Higurashi was, the reason you get episode of the week is because if you win episode of the week, it's going to be exponentially harder for you to exceed expectations again the following week. So I can't. It's really difficult for me to just give the thing episode of the week like 10 weeks in a row. So in this sense, of all these shows,
that's fair, but it's like
of all these shows, I was the most surprised by how well Strike Witches actually pulled off that fight scene.
Yes. So basically all the episodes were normally good as they were, and then Strike Witches was good as they are for one episode, and that's
and look, there wasn't even any fan service to fall back on. It felt like old school. Yeah, it felt like old school Strike Witches, where it was just like we had a fighting episode and it was well done, and we didn't even have to rely on a bunch of ass shots, even though there were a couple.
Yeah, then if only they could stop relying on that god awful CGI.
Yeah, well, they did a little bit less of it this episode compared to the first episode.
Yeah, that is true. It's just like, ugh.
And I was comparing it in my mind to your other favorite ecchi show, High School DxD season 4.
Huh.
And I think what makes Strike Witches such a good ecchi anime is that one, it doesn't over rely on ecchi. Like for example, DxD, when they every episode just need to have like this random ecchi scene, even if it did nothing, even if the episode was supposed to be serious and it offered nothing to the plot, they would just like throw in like a random chest boobs. So it kind of felt weird sometimes, and also the plot got too convoluted and too fast paced for its own good. Whereas with Strike Witches, the plot is just witches are fighting aliens, and that is it. We don't need to make it any more complicated than that. So you have a simple plot that's easy to follow, and you just have selective ecchi moments, and you can't really fuck that up. So
yeah,
I mean you can.
Okay, am I judging for making this episode of the week? Absolutely. But was this episode this week bad? No.
There you go.
Yeah, they watched it. There's fighting. They're shooting them up over and over again. Stuff happened. They eventually blew it up with the guns, and the end.
I feel like I hope there's one episode this of Strike Witches this season that genuinely impresses you.
I mean, I would like that as well.
I feel like it'll never happen, but I would like to.
I don't have my hope. For my sake, I also have my hopes very low. I will say this episode did, it did a little bit more than I was expecting it to. Only because in my mind, when I think of Strike Witches, it's like it's either fighting the Neuroi, or whatever it's called, or they're ecchi. Like I'm like it's either one or the other. So yeah, this was fine. As you said, they didn't rely too heavy on the ecchi. Lots of cool shooting. What made me like this one more is that they relied a lot more on. I always find it funny that it's literally just a bunch of like older men and little girls like fighting aliens together.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure the reason they specifically only have older dudes on there is so that there's no like shipping drama or anything with the fandom,
Yeah.
And you can't have young men hanging out with these Strike Witches, otherwise people will like get the wrong idea that these aren't all you can't ship them with each other.
I mean, I guess. I don't know, I find it to be very like a funny like setup that they all fight together. And I did like it this episode that they were actually fighting together, because usually it's like, wow, like we may shoot like a missile or something. Oh boy, it didn't work. Time to just sit here and pray while Strike Witches come. And while that did happen this episode, it was like, they were doing a lot with the very little they had.
Yeah.
Against like, the Titanic iceberg come to life.
Oh, and I just realized that David Production is doing the animation for the show. Same people who did Fire Force, or are doing Fire Force.
And yet they decided to keep the CGI. All right.
Put some of that Fire Force budget into Strike Witches.
Amen to that. Is that next? Speaking of? Yeah, speaking of which. Next up is Fire Force Season 2, Episode 16.
Speaking of fun fight episodes.
Yes, okay. So, It was really fucking silly.
It was. That's why I love it so much.
It really was. But you see, this was the anime I'm comparing to that didn't do it as well because they just stopped the whole fight just to be fucking dumb. Like there's a difference between like having silly moments worked into the action scenes and then just pausing to have just a really dumb slapstick moment.
In what was the worst offender of that, you think?
The basketball thing.
I thought the basketball thing was hilarious. But yeah, I get it. It broke the pacing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it broke the pacing for them to be like
terribly. Like they're literally in the middle of beating each other all up, and then they just pause. I got Natsuko. Like, and then they're like shooting him. They're like throwing around his head like it's a basketball at one point, which actually made me laugh out loud.
I again stand by. I remember I said this the last time we covered season 1 of the show. Well, I will stand by the fact that Arrow is secretly one of the hottest girls on the show because that whole first part of the episode was beautiful. Thank you. You mean you
loved watching her get shocked horribly?
I liked watching her not have half her clothes on. Yes. Listen, if I pair off, if I ship Arrow and what's her name?
Please no. Don't do that. Don't be sick. Not like that. Don't expose yourself on the podcast like that.
All right. Also, Maki was doing work. I didn't know she was so fucking strong. I forgot she knows close quarters.
Oh yeah, she got to Arrow and she's like, and I was like, oh wait, I can't shoot an arrow at you, and then you just see like fuck her up.
Yeah. Close quarters combat, my biggest weakness.
CQC. Mm-hmm. Oh man. And then of course, Charon still being such a badass. I love him so much.
Yeah.
He's so OP. I literally could fight all day and never feel bored.
All of the characters. I actually really like the kind of like turnaround moment. Even though I hate his guts, of what's his face, the evil dude that works for the company.
I forgot his name. I literally just called him Sick Fuck.
All right, yeah. So I like the turnaround of Sick Fuck because he's not even like, he's still evil, but he works for a company. So his boss is like, when his boss called him, was like, "You fucking idiot," and like chewing him out. And he was like, "All right, my boss is yelling at me, so I got to team up with you guys."
Basically, let's see. I'm trying to see if I wrote down his name. Yeah, no, I just keep insulting him in my notes.
Kurono. There we go.
What?
Kurono.
Oh, that's Kurono?
Yep.
Oh. Okay, I did write Kurono down. I wrote it down once and I called him creep, a sick fuck, all these things that are actually true. So I don't
blame you for that.
Because in the beginning, like in the first half, he's like ignoring everyone else because he's like, I want to beat up these two nuns. Or Arthur's trying to stop him from beating up these two nuns for no reason.
He's prioritizing the weak, Drew.
Oh my god, it's gross.
I like. Also, I continue to be amazed by these random powers that people have. Like, I thought that they would be really limited, just keeping everyone's powers limited to like fire. But
yeah, but then Homegirl was like, "Yeah, I can control infernos.
Yeah, and raise the dead. Yeah, like, all right, you have the power of fire, right? Necromancy, got it. I can summon the dead and make giant monsters with them."
I was like, "Wait, what?"
Sure, that's fire related. Also, really liked Notaku going through his. I like that they found a way to work Rekka back into the plot, even though he was only in there for like a couple of episodes in season 1, and now he's like this subconscious monster inside of the kid's head.
Yeah, that scene where he like finally snaps and his eyes glow up, and like there's a little there's a little Rekka like
in his mouth. Yeah, that was really disturbing. Really disturbing. And it's so easy, like it's just like photoshopped and layered in his mouth because it doesn't move.
It's
yeah, I'm like, that's lazy editing, but also hilarious.
but also really weird.
Yeah, but also really weird. I hope every time he talks, there's a little Reka in his fucking mouth that just doesn't move.
That's what it seems like half the time.
Yeah, that's his Super Saiyan mode. He just gets Reka inside of him.
Crazy. Oh yeah, and then of course Nataku. It's like I don't really know what his power is still.
Looks like radioactivity or something.
I mean, that's what he was doing. Yeah, he's like, oh, I shoot radioactive fire lasers, and I'm like, I can't tell which of this is like his power and which of it is because of her ability.
Yeah, it's a bit mixed up there.
Yeah, but it seems pretty crazy. So
I did like the little scene of her talking to the girl talking to Inca, and then Inca just had to stop in the middle of the conversation. He's like, "Oh, you need to move from there, otherwise you're gonna die." But yeah, no, this episode I think did a good job of just like showcasing a lot of action. And yeah, I agree they did some weird stuff with the pacing where it's like we need to stop fighting so we can do some jokes. But
yeah, that was I mean, it was still entertaining, but it was. I'm only pointing it out because Golden Kamui did it better.
Yeah. Also, where the hell is Tamaki? I need more Tamaki fan service. Thank you, please.
Oh, I guess you could see it when she's getting like brutally murdered by Kurana.
Nah, he'll like take off her clothes or something. I bet she ends up beating him. Watch. That's where my bet is going.
Okay, because you're usually right. Oh, and lastly, Arthur being like Vulcan trying to guide Arthur and trick Arthur into using his powers because his strength is determined by his delusion, which is
very interesting.
That's very interesting, but also really fucked. Like, and you're just trying to ways to keep him like engaged with like the little made up story. He's like, yeah, and when it starts moving, he's like, hey, why does this have like a why does rock still have like a seat car? He's like, no, it's just a snake. This is a rock attachment moving snake. Hold on tight. I just found that to be very stupid, but very funny. Like Arthur.
Very in line with his character.
Now, let's move on to shit. Did I miss it? Did I skip over it? No, the movies, OVAs. Oh, I think I may have moved away from it.
Under shorts.
Dogeza. Oh, yeah. Dogeza.
So I didn't even include a screenshot of it in the overlay, so it's whatever. But I mean, do I need to though?
No, you absolutely do not. Listen, if you guys just want to be kind of dirty and then just kind of have this like be like a prelude to before you jack off to something, I get it. I understand. It's like softcore porn with like some flavor in it. I get it. I get that. However, as a piece of anime to be reviewed, there really is literally nothing I can say. Like, it is just very much the main character asking to see her naked, like just begging.
Asking or begging, yeah.
Like, naked until she eventually takes off her clothes. No, I can't. I not even I can't. I probably could. I just won't. I need to actually watch good content.
I was thinking because it was a short, we should do like it'd be cute to do like we watch an episode and we just write a haiku about the episode, and then that would be it. But I was like, that's way too much fucking work for this show.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I mean, we checked it out. I'm not gonna fight for it because I've read the entire manga. It is literally just going to be every episode is a different girl, and the main character's gonna be like, "Show me your tits," and then she's gonna be like, "Oh, my tits," and he's "Show me your tits" for like 2 minutes, and then the last 10 seconds she's gonna be like, "All right, here are my tits." So, you know, it is what it is. I like that it is what it is. You know, it's
and
you can't ask for
maybe
more.
if it was funnier.
It's not. This is
But
literally just show me your tits. Okay, cool. End the show.
yeah, it's like no, it's not even like, and it's not because even that like it's too ecchi. Like this is someone who watched Ishizoku reviewers, you know, with no complaints. But this is just mind-numbingly dumb.
Yeah, there's no comedy or anything. That's the other thing. Like the other shorts were like it's really ecchi. Like the one with the girls in the tights, or the one where they're like looking at you disgracefully and mocking you or whatever. The at least those shows had some tiny bit of a attempt at characters or plot. This was just literally a minute and a half long. That was show me your tits. Okay, here are my tits. Next episode.
Yeah. So unfortunately, y'all, that is gonna be the last time I talk about that ever again.
Fair enough.
That would have wasted 2 minutes of my life.
Oh no, Drew, you'll never get those 2 minutes of your life back.
Yeah. Oh no.
How will you live?
Somehow, some way, someday. But yeah, so that ends our weekly review, y'all. Up next is our filler arc. I didn't really think of a topic to come up with this week, so I thought I could just talk about more, or we could just talk about more of the anime that we're watching that's not on the lineup. I think we did this like maybe like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, like we did it at the end of last season for like shows that we watched that weren't.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just like a just like a brief little catch up to like, oh, what series are we watching and how are they so far? One specifically that I want to talk about is of course Muno Nanana.
Yes. I'm sad we're not watching that.
I'm sad we're not doing it. This is one of the reasons why I want to. I'm like, I do kind of want. I'm like, I'm going to find a way to talk about this on the podcast, and I'm like, filler arc, because I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. What a fascinating premise. Like they really got us with the synopsis.
Yeah, it's literally Among Us, but
anime. Yeah, it's Among Us, but anime. And ironically, the weakest person is the one without powers. Everyone else has a super powered ability, and they all go to this school. Like this, it's like My Hero Academia kind of ish. They all go to school, and they all have superpowers. And there's a girl who comes there, and she's like, "Hey, I have the ability." Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah, like I said before, was spoiling. But she's like, "Hey, I have the ability to read everyone's mind, and everyone befriends her, and they're all cool with her, especially like this guy who was perceived as the main character, until he is killed at the end of the first episode by her, and then we realize that her whole mission is actually to kill basically all the superheroes."
Yeah, it's I like it because she's very merciless. Like how she killed the dude in the second episode was fucking cold-blooded.
That was. I mean, the first one wasn't much better.
It wasn't, but the second one was worse.
Yeah, I think it was worse because it was so much more calculating.
Yeah, we got to see like her thought process. It reminds me of like it's like the Death Note Code Geass type of show, where it's like the main character is super smart and calculating, and half the episode is them just like, oh right, I can't do this. It really does feel like Death Note, where I'm like looking at Light and L. They literally have a dude who's just like L. That's
exactly. Homeboy, I saw him, especially in episode 2. I'm like, oh, that's okay. Basically L. Got it. Like, oh, he's so weird too. Like he was literally like touching her pigtails, and I'm just like, she's like, hey, why the fuck are you touching my hair like that? I mean, the answer was like, oh, because my sister's hair is like that. I mean, I'm like, that's still creepy, but
yeah, that's not a reason, bro.
That's not a reason not to just like totally just defile her personal space like that. Also, she definitely is like 1,000,000,000% suspicious of her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Like the moment, I don't know. I think she kind of fucked up, honestly, in in the school's cafeteria scene.
Yeah.
Like, I know she was doing that. She did it to, make the time travel dude get the time travel dude on her side. But and while she did that, but on the other hand, he's like, "Oh, I didn't think that at all."
That and yeah, and I'm just wondering how long she can keep this up. Like, is she just gonna kill the entire class and think that this dude's not gonna notice? Like, every time you're talking to somebody, they just fucking vanish. Like, you hang out with people and they just vanish the next day. Kind of suspicious.
If that was her, I'd kill him.
Like she's gonna have to try to kill him next, but that's like easier said than done because he seems
really
smart.
I think her window closed the moment she kind of outed herself. Like, the fact that he didn't try defending himself, she just like and walked away. I was like, oh, he knows. Well, you already lost half the battle.
I'm interested to see where it goes because like it could grow into something much bigger than just like the classroom murder stuff. Curious, very curious.
Very curious indeed. Is there another anime that you're watching?
One of the ones that I'm watching that I kind of threw some shade at when we were doing our overview or guide is the Majo no Tabi, the Witch's Adventure one. It's actually pretty good. It's very episodic, so it's like there's no. That's one thing I don't like. Series are like it's the main girl, and then every episode she's like in a new place, a new town, meeting new people, doing different things. But the main girl is actually pretty fun. She's like this witch who was like super gifted, and she became a witch super early and passed the exam at like 14 or whatever. But she has to be an apprentice to some other witch, and she spoilers for episode 1, by the way. But she ends up trying to be an apprentice to another witch, and all the other witches are mad shady about it and like, nah, fuck you, you're a genius, teach yourself. And then she gets desperate, but she's like super conceited, like I'm the best, I'm so powerful. And she ends up going with this witch in like the middle of nowhere in like a forest that looks like she's high all the time and just like chasing butterflies and stuff. And training with her is just like, oh, you're gonna clean my dishes and cook me food, and for like a whole month. She just basically makes her into a slave, and then she ends up fighting her just randomly and gets her ass kicked because the other woman's like the fights in the show are legitimate. I was not expecting the fights to be actually good, but they're just like fucking throwing lightning and fireballs and blowing shit up. It felt really good. And then she loses, ends up like having a mental breakdown and crying because she's like, oh, I'm such a shitty witch. And she finds out that this whole time her parents actually paid the other witch to basically beat her down mentally so that she can learn to be humble. And then she learns to be humble and goes on adventures trying to become a full-fledged witch and teaching other people how to be humble. So it's pretty fun.
Oh, that's a really cute premise.
It's a good premise, and the action's pretty good, and so far the characters are really decent, so I'm enjoying it.
Let's see which one I'm watching. I am watching Noblesse, which is Noblesse is really just like
I've heard of this. I've heard about that train wreck.
Noblesse is very much just like, oh my, it's literally just for girls who are into pretty guys. That's literally it. That I really can't think of another reason you'd watch this anime.
I heard that they had an OVA or like 2 or 3 OVAs, but it condensed like the first 90 chapters into like one OVA, and it's like now you're supposed to watch that, and the anime starts from like chapter 100 of the manga or whatever.
I mean, it seems like a good place to start. Like, yeah, it seemed like it was a natural starting point. It didn't seem awkward or anything. We're getting, seeing the new characters, everything. It's an anime. It's there. If you're into pretty boys, that's literally the only reason you'd want to watch it.
If you want pretty boys, go watch Noblesse.
Basically. And then lastly, I think the last anime I want to talk about real quick is, of course, Jujutsu Kaisen. This anime just feels like, I don't know, it kind of feels like a newer Bleach. Like
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's like Bleach / Soul Eater. Maybe more towards Soul Eater, maybe. And like in the whole premise, like curses and supernatural ghost shit, etc., etc. And yes, they actually go to fucking what is it? Something tech. I forget. Oh wait, I know they said it in the name. Didn't they say it in the name? Metropolitan.
Yeah, Metropolitan. Yeah,
Sorcery. Yeah.
The Tokyo College of Sorcery.
So yeah, they're doing that, and yeah, so this still sounds silly hearing it in the anime, absolutely, but the fighting's pretty cool. The characters are pretty cool. I'm liking it. Like for shonen, it's doing what it's supposed to do. I can't complain, honestly.
I also want to give a quick shout out to Kimi Toboku from that's the one Savior recommended. It's a pretty cute story. It's action and like it's the Romeo and Juliet story, but it's told in a very interesting way and it's very cute. I'm like enjoying the interactions that they make.
Oh, I couldn't. I got such hardcore. I got triggered. I got too much hardcore Sword Art Online vibes to the point where I was just like, nope.
How? It's not, I didn't get any Sword Art Online
because like the first few minutes, like the female character, she was such a bad bitch. Like I was like, oh my god, you're like my favorite character. You're just so
she's
cold. She's so awesome. She's so bad. Like she's such a baddie. I love it. And then the moment she trips and the veil comes off, and then she's all like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh no, my fantasy is ruined. I don't care anymore."
Oh, that's so.
Now I just see Asuna. I don't care.
Wow, Drew, that's so shallow of you.
He put out the silver sword, and I was like, "Nope."
I like how we had a segment of this podcast earlier this month or a month ago where we were talking about how quickly you drop shows, and you were like, "I'll give it a chance," and now you're dropping shows in the first like 5 minutes of.
No, I saw the whole episode, and I was just like, "Nope."
It's like I like that she's a bit clumsy.
I don't want to deal with another Asuna nor another Asuna Kirito dynamic. It's not what my spirit is calling for.
Wow. Savior, I hope you're watching. Director hate towards Drew. I'm enjoying the show. Drew's hating.
I'm glad that you guys are. Glad you're just enjoying it. It's just not what I need right now. Also, because I'm watching so many other anime. Like it's like that's just not what I want from me. That's not what I'm looking for right now.
Fair enough.
Yep, and yeah, I think that's all I had to say about that. Just want to, talk about some of the anime that we're watching, and Assault Lily. I saw I didn't see episode 2. I saw episode 1 and episode 3.
Wait, why'd you skip 2?
Oh, because my anime night, they watched it without me, and I was like, I don't care enough to see it. The first episode, first of all, I just like that it's like we're still making fun of the fact that it's like, we're Lily's taking on the huge. Like that's pretty hilarious. The first episode had really good fighting though, like surprisingly good fighting. Shit, I forgot what happened in episode 3. I don't think I was over for that night either. So, but I'm probably gonna rewatch it and skim through it to see if it was any good. I feel like even though the episode was so awesome, I've heard say my friends told me about episode 2 and they're like, it's kind of. I feel like it's kind of turning into like the more school life-ish. They're kind of trying gearing things more towards school life, slice of life thing, which I hope isn't true because I really did enjoy the first episode. It was just like lesbians who are fighting monsters. And I'm just like, I'm here for this. I'm okay with lesbians fighting each other. Fighting over each other and then fighting the monsters. That's indeed what I am here for.
I start to check it out.
But yeah, no, it was pretty good. I honestly think you would. If you like Strike Witches, I mean, it's close enough.
I will look into it then.
Okay. Now I think I'm done with everything. So, Oni, if you'd be so kind to take us away.
Yes, guys, if you enjoyed this episode of the G&A Podcast, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you can catch all the episodes as they go up every week. Also, if you haven't already, do join the party on our Discord, follow us on Twitch, and follow us on Twitter, all linked in the description down below. If you'd like, you can even go that extra step and become a patron like all these lovely people on screen right now who make the show possible. You'll get yourself a bunch of awesome perks like access to the Midnight Channel, which is our members-only Discord channel, as well as the ability to live watch anime with us. This season, we're live watching Higurashi, and it's just getting to like the amazing best episode of the season I know is coming up next week. So if you want to get in on that action, consider becoming a patron or a YouTube member. And Drew, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Just a little quick shout out to Torokami. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about them, but I really cannot thank them enough for sending us the cool free merch, which, you know, I maybe Oni doesn't get it because he didn't get his yet, but
I'm waiting and eagerly.
Once he gets his sweatshirt and his shirt, he's going to see why I talk about it so much. Also, you can use the code G&AREVIEWS to get 50% off of all their merchandise. So I'm going to put that in the description below. So, you know, if you feel, you know, inclined, feel free to check that out.
Yeah. And with that said, till next time, this has been Sobroni and
Doobie-doo.
Catch you guys later. Later.
Bye.